And we're back with another wild one. Today, we're diving into some of the craziest road rage meltdowns caught on DASHCAM. Some drivers think they can take on the road and the cops, but spoiler alert, things never end well for them. Buckle up because this wild dashcam footage looks like it's straight out of an action movie, except there are no stuntmen and no one's calling cut. This is real. The bodycam and dashcam footage we're diving into shows just how quickly a routine arrest can spiral out of control.
Oh, fella, he just stole the patrol car.
Just moments after he's handcuffed and taken into police custody, a suspect wiggles his way into the driver's seat of a squad car and steals the police vehicle. After that, he leads police on a high-speed chase.
It all went down on June 20th in Otero County, Colorado. The suspect, Anthony Alfonso Sanchez III, had already been on the run, causing multiple crashes in his wake, deliberately smashing into other vehicles. After a high-speed chase, police finally managed to stop Sanchez's vehicle.
Alright, 379, slowed down, speeds of 28. Hold traffic. Pit maneuver, hold traffic.
Dashcam video shows police approaching Sanchez's vehicle. You hear the cops, guns drawn, repeatedly ordering him to get his hands up. He eventually complies, and it seems like this chaotic chapter is closing. They handcuff him, tuck him into the back of a patrol car, and breathe a collective sigh of relief.
Don't move! Don't move! You got him?
Exit the car! Hands up!
Got me? Out of the vehicle! Out of the vehicle! Out of the vehicle!
On the ground!
What's going on? I got you.
Dude, get out on the ground.
Hands behind your back.
Then, the twist happens. You can see Sanchez crying in the back seat of the cruiser, and for a split second, you might feel bad for him. But moments later, he somehow manages to contort his body to bring his handcuffs from behind his back to the front. That's right, he Houdinis his way into a position that changes everything. And then, the unthinkable happens. Sanchez slithers into the front seat of the police cruiser.
Once the cuffs are in front of him, Sanchez slides into the driver's seat of the squad.
I copy. Serial number, returning clear vote, no record.
At this point, the dashcam captures Sanchez pulling off one of the most brazen escape attempts imaginable. In full view of everyone, he steals the police car. Not just any car, he jacks the actual squad car he was just detained in.
02, suspect just stole a DSP patrol car. He is eastbound, high rated speed on 50.
The cruiser bolts forward like it's trying to make up for lost time, zooming past police, running red lights, and heading east on US Route 50. And just when you thought it couldn't get crazier, the dispatch radios start to light up with some terrifying news. Sanchez has access to a rifle inside the stolen car. The officers had left a firearm in the vehicle he had jacked.
The rifle is in the vehicle. He was not armed. The gun was left in the vehicle. Passing the 390. Speed's 123.
At this point, the entire law enforcement operation goes from stop the stolen car to stop the armed suspect in the stolen cruiser before things get worse. The intensity skyrockets, and officers scramble to set up spike strips in a desperate bid to bring this pursuit to a halt.
Driving down the middle of the lane, get stop sticks out. As many sets as you can get.
Coming at you, Jay. First car.
Now, if you think setting up spike strips on a speeding suspect is tough, try doing it on a guy who's actively dodging them like he's in a real-life game of Frogger. Twice, Sanchez narrowly avoids the strips, moving like he was on a racetrack. The speeds he's hitting, over 120 mph at one point, are jaw-dropping, but so is his reckless driving. He's swerving, crossing lanes, and passing on the wrong side of the road.
Coming up on stop sticks. He missed him, continuing eastbound.
The third third set of spike strips are the charm. Sanchez hits them, but even with flat tires, he keeps pushing. The dashcam footage shows the cruiser slowing down, but there's no good ending in sight, just a disaster waiting to happen. And it does. The stolen cruiser slams head-on into a parked semi-truck. The crash is jarring, violent, and final.
I don't have a vehicle. Where's the keys? Go ahead. You got the keys in it? I don't have a vehicle. Where's the keys? Good sticks. Good sticks. We got a ticket.
The squad car catches fire almost immediately. The body cam footage shows the urgency in the officers' movements as they rush toward the burning wreck, trying to save a man who, moments before, was stealing one of their own vehicles. Despite their efforts, Sanchez doesn't survive the brutal accident. The semi-truck driver was miraculously unscathed, but the aftermath left behind was pure destruction. The Colorado Bureau of Investigation is still looking into how Sanchez managed to slip through their fingers, but the footage paints a picture of how dangerous and unpredictable some drivers can be.
Good sticks. We got a ticket.
Body camera video then shows officials rush to the crash site where the squad has caught fire.
This next case shows just how quickly a routine traffic stop can turn deadly. This chase, which took place on April 12, 2021, in Carroll County, Georgia, shows the extreme risks law enforcement officers face in the line of duty. What starts as an attempt to pull over a speeding driver escalates into a violent and tragic encounter, resulting in multiple officers wounded and one suspect dead.
We're now getting a first-hand look at a Georgia car chase turned shootout that left multiple officers injured, one suspect killed, and another with a lifetime prison sentence.
It all began when a Georgia State Patrol trooper noticed a Nissan Sentra speeding at over 100 miles per hour on the interstate. Inside the car were Aaron Shelton, the driver, and his cousin Pierre Shelton, riding as the passenger. The trooper tried to pull them over. For a brief moment, it looked like they might comply, as the car began to slow and pull over to the side of the road. But just as the trooper got out of his car, Aaron Shelton stomped on the gas and sped off, kicking off a high-speed chase.
But when the trooper gets out to approach the Nissan, it speeds off.
In the dashcam footage, you can see the trooper trying to catch up with them. He manages to get close enough to execute a precision immobilization technique, or PIT maneuver, tapping the rear of the Nissan to make it spin out. Instead of stopping, though, the suspects regain control and keep speeding along the highway.
As dash camera video continues, the initial trooper zeroes in on the suspect's car and taps it as it drives along. The car veers out of frame.
At this point, things take a turn for the worst. Pierre Shelton reaches out of the passenger side window, wielding an AK-47, and opens fire on the pursuing officer. The situation has now become a full-blown shootout. The trooper reports shots fired, and you can hear the urgency in his voice as he calls for backup. This isn't just a chase anymore. It's a fight for survival.
Next, Pierre Shelton can be seen from the passenger side of the Nissan pulling out an AK-47. He points the gun back at the Georgia State Trooper and opens fire.
Shots fired, shots fired.
As the chase continues, multiple other units respond to the call.
The footage then shifts to the view from other responding officers' dash cams. Multiple law enforcement agencies, including local police and sheriff's deputies, join the pursuit, forming a tactical response to stop the armed suspects. They strategize on how to bring the chase to a safe end, discussing the possibility of setting up spike strips to disable the car. But this chase is anything but predictable.
He's wearing a yellow hoodie. He's floorboard.
6-6, back off of him, back off of him, back off. Let's see what they do.
As they pursue the suspects through winding roads and intersections, you can hear the officers on the radio trying to maintain a safe distance while anticipating the suspects' next moves. Carrollton Police Sergeant Rob Holloway is among the officers leading the pursuit. His voice is calm but firm as he gives instructions, trying to manage the situation and keep his fellow officers safe.
All right, get me some people up here. Let's get ready to do felony stop. If not, we will pit.
Carrollton Police Sergeant Rob Holloway can be heard on body camera video calling out instructions during the chase.
All right, back off just a little. We're going to follow at this distance. Dispatch, we are going 60 miles an hour. Bankhead Highway, we're passing Barnes Store. Get Villarica set up, spikes at base.
Then, out of nowhere, more shots ring out. Pierce Shelton fires at Sergeant Holloway's squad car, hitting him in the head. The dashcam footage from Holloway's vehicle captures the terrifying moment as his car veers off the road and crashes. In an instant, what was already a dangerous situation has turned tragic. An officer is down. The dashcam from a nearby squad car also captures the aftermath of the crash. You can see other officers rushing to check on Holloway, but they have to be cautious because the suspects are still on the move and the gunfire hasn't stopped. At this point, it becomes clear that Pierce Shelton is determined not to be taken alive. He continues firing at the officers, putting everyone's life in danger. Video shows officers scrambling for cover, ducking behind their cars as bullets fly through the air. Among them is Carrollton police officer Chase Gordy. His body cam footage gives us an intense close-up view of what it's like to be on the receiving end of gunfire. Gordy takes cover behind his patrol car, desperately calling for help as the shots keep coming.
Soon, gunshots are fired directly at Gordy. Gordy can be seen calling for help as the gunfire continues.
As the chaos unfolds, another officer, Deputy J. Retu, is also shot and wounded. 3 officers are now down, and the situation is as dire as it can get. In one heart-stopping moment, the suspect can be seen near Gordy's car, gun in hand, firing directly at him.
For only 2 seconds, a suspect is seen in front of the squad car, gun in hand.
Eventually, the gunfire subsides, and officers manage to gain control of the scene. Pierce Shelton, the gunman, is killed in the shootout, bringing the violent confrontation to an end. His cousin, Aaron Shelton, who had been driving the car, is taken into custody.
Investigators later determined the driver was Aaron Shelton. His cousin, Pierce Shelton, was in the passenger seat.
In the aftermath, Aaron Shelton was charged with 22 counts, including felony murder, felony fleeing, and aggravated assault on law enforcement officers. He was later convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In the end, this chase and shootout serve as a stark example of the fine line between life and death in law enforcement. For these officers, what started as an attempt to stop a speeding driver quickly turned into a battle for survival, and the consequences were tragic for all involved. It's a powerful reminder of the risks that come with wearing the badge, and the sacrifices that some officers make in the line of duty. This next footage shows a routine traffic stop that spiraled into a high-speed chase, ultimately ending in a tragic crash. Buckle up as we dissect the shocking footage of an extreme road rage incident involving 23-year-old Justin Mbakela, a wanted man in Wisconsin.
Alright, he's taking off on me. We are getting the eastbound Barnard from Sweet Applewood and coming in pursuit.
We start with a simple, yet all too common scene. It's March 22nd, and a Cudahy police officer is making what should be a routine traffic stop for speeding and a broken headlight. Mbakela, the driver of the car, casually rolls along without fully stopping. He's clearly stalling, probably weighing his options in that moment. What's more, as we'll soon learn, is that he's on a phone call with his girlfriend.
Alright, this guy's on the phone, he's still rolling. He's not putting it in park, it's just a slow roll.
Officers say Makila was driving his girlfriend's vehicle. The girlfriend later told police she was on the phone as they attempted to pull him over.
He called me and he's like, "I'm 4 minutes, the police behind me." I'm like, "Just pull over, just pull over. I don't want my car to get totaled." Then he's like, "The phone finna die." The phone died. I've been trying to call.
So he was on the phone with you when I initially stopped him.
The officer, growing more suspicious by the second, isn't buying it. It seems innocent enough to the untrained eye, but things are about to take a sharp turn. At this point, Mbakela knows exactly what he's about to do. He takes off. Now, the officer has no choice but to call for backup.
Alright, he's taking off on me. We are in the eastbound Barnard from Sweet Applewood, coming in pursuit. Speeds at 45.
The Cudahy officer continues to tail Makila as he speeds off.
What happens next is exactly why road rage incidents escalate so quickly. The speedometer climbs to 88 miles per hour, and the adrenaline kicks in. The officer is struggling to keep up with Mbakela's erratic driving, the snowy roads only adding to the danger. This isn't just reckless, it's downright life-threatening to anyone unlucky enough to be on the road that night. From the dashcam footage, you can see Mbakela weaving between lanes, careening through intersections, and barely missing other vehicles.
Just hope more to get sticks at college. Fred at Packard and Ramsey, speeds 90 miles an hour, still southbound.
Meanwhile, additional officers join the chase.
We are going to be eastbound Barnard from Sweet Applewood, coming in pursuit.
The chase continues for about 3 intense minutes before officers lose sight of Mbakela. It's like he vanishes into thin air. They speculate he either took a sharp turn or veered through a park. Neither option is great. At this point, nobody knows where Mbakela is headed, or if he's already crashed somewhere. The pursuit turns into a waiting game as Cudahy officers call in reinforcements from nearby to help locate the vehicle.
55th Dash, can you do me a favor and call over to South Milwaukee? There was a South Milwaukee squad that was coming north on Chicago, and see if you saw anything.
10-4, contacting now. South Milwaukee officer, I couldn't hear you.
Yes, just advise when they called that we were checking the area. We have not seen their vehicle that they were pursuing, but we do have squads checking the area.
Meanwhile, officers track down Mbakela's girlfriend at an Airbnb. She's clearly shaken but cooperative. "I don't know why he didn't just pull over," she says. She knows her boyfriend has some legal trouble, but whatever it is, it's nothing worth risking a life over. Her main concern remains her car, so one of the officers tries to reassure her, but deep down, they know that the situation is far worse than anyone is willing to admit.
You're gonna make it worse than what it is. Just pull over. Phone went dead. I really just want my car. It's my first car. That's the only thing I really have right now. My son.
Right, but we can't really do anything for you with the car right now. You gave him permission to use it.
Yes.
And then he decided to take off. So I guess in the future, he probably doesn't use your car.
No,
right?
no.
And sure enough, disaster strikes. The next half hour brings the grim news. Mbakela's vehicle has been discovered in South Milwaukee, wrecked at the bottom of an embankment. It plummeted off the road and crashed into a river below. This is the moment that everything comes crashing down, quite literally.
The vehicle is discovered in South Milwaukee after crashing over an embankment and landing in the water below.
Look away if you don't want to be in the photo here.
Officers who find the scene describe it as grim. The car is mangled, barely recognizable, and its driver, Justin Mbakela, didn't survive the impact. The adrenaline from the chase is gone, replaced with the sobering reality that they've just witnessed someone lose their life.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, before I fall.
Appreciate it.
That's just how quickly road rage and bad decisions can turn fatal. Mbakela had the opportunity to stop and face the consequences of a routine traffic stop. Instead, he chose to flee. Was it out of fear, pride, or just a desperate attempt to avoid dealing with his legal troubles? We may never know, but what we do know is that his split-second decision cost him his life.
Alright, he's taking off on me. We are in the eastbound Barnard from Sweet Applewood, coming in pursuit. Speeds at 45.